Hi, today we're going to talk about making it your own. We've talked a lot about the principles of family life education, and today we're going to demonstrate how FLE aligns with early Head Start home visiting, and I'm going to give you a few ideas for practice, but the rest is where you come in. I'd like you to also think about your work and generate ideas for practice that align with these principles. We've covered a lot of basics about family life education. We covered how strong, healthy families is a goal for many professionals, particularly family life educators. We also talked about the foundation of family life education: prevention, education, collaboration with other professionals, and collaboration with families. We talked about the family's felt needs and setting goals for the present and the future. And then we also talked about the domains of family practice model and how this applies to home visiting. For instance, to promote professionalization of early Head Start home visiting and to avoid burnout, we really want home visitors operating here, but also cognizant and aware of what's happening with family therapy and family case management. The objective for today is to think about how these principles align, early Head Start home visiting, and how they align with family life education principles, and to then generate ideas for practice. So this table here has a lot of text information, and I got the information about the early Head Start home visiting principles from HOMV, which is Home Visiting Visitor Evidence and Effectiveness, and this includes 45 approaches or models to home visiting. Home visiting is listed as an evidence-based model. And then on the other side, the other column, we have family life education principles. So I've decided to present how they both align. High quality services, as you know, is really important to home visiting. And same with FLE. Qualified professionals are really crucial to high quality family life education. Activities that promote healthy development and identify atypical development as early as possible, so in infants and toddlers, children under the age of 3. Also in FLE, typical and atypical development is extremely valued. Positive relationships and continuity with the emphasis on the role of the parent as the child's first teacher and most important relationship. Same thing with FLE. Attachment is a large theory, as well as the importance of parenting and parent education to make sure that the parent is truly the child's first teacher. Activities that offer parents a meaningful and strategic role in the program's vision, services, and governance. Family life education also shares this principle that shared educational goals and practices should be discovered, and parents are not only a member of the services and of their family, but also a member of the community and the world. Early Head Start home visiting values inclusion strategies that respect the unique developmental trajectories of young children in the context of a typical setting, including children with disabilities. Same with family life education. Supporting families with children with medical or other special needs is very important. Cultural competence that acknowledges the profound role that culture plays in early development. Similar, FLE also values cross-cultural competence and respecting different values. And I think the unique part of home visiting is that you can have a core set of values, but when you go into someone's home, you often have to be very cognitively and emotionally flexible to meet the family where they're at. Comprehensiveness, flexibility, and responsiveness of services that allow children and families to move across various program options over time as their life situation demands. Family life education is based on the needs of individuals and families, and it's offered in a variety of settings. So it could be the home, it could be McDonald's, it could be a variety of places. Early Head Start home visiting, a principle is transition planning. Similar, FLE, a principle is not only developmental transitions through ages and stages, for example, an infant becoming a toddler, but also other life transitions, such as getting ready for school and transitioning to school. Collaboration with community partnerships that allow programs to expand their services, And then collaboration, again, making sure that we achieve that goal of strong, healthy families. So these are approximately 9 ways in which they align. Now I want to talk about practices that are generated from the alignment of these principles. I'm only going to talk about 3 practices. I'd like you then to think about ways and ideas that you're using in practice and how they align with what early Head Start values and what family life education values. One principle we talked about was cross-cultural confidence and really acknowledging the family's culture and setting aside your values often to benefit the family. And then we talked about flexibility of services as being high quality and responsiveness of services as being high quality. In this alignment, one idea that I thought of is it's very important to both early Head Start and family life education that we think about the felt and ascribed needs of families. So when families enter services, they might be given family maps inventory or family maps inventory with ACEs or whatever instrument the local agency has decided is important to assess families' needs and strengths. So you might find out a lot about their felt and ascribed needs that way, but also in your interactions, in your weekly visits, your collaboration with family, that is critical to finding out families' felt needs as well. And you might do shared goal setting, and in that shared goal setting, that's when you really might see, okay, the family really needs this, and this is an immediate need. One brief example is if you go into a family's home and let's say it's a refugee family and mom is in the kitchen along with a 2-year-old and they just got rice from the food pantry, so they're very excited about this, but mom is unsure how to cook it, unsure if she has the pots and the pans and the stirrers. So we discover mom has the rice and the pot, but she doesn't have a stirrer to cook the rice. So the family might express to you that one immediate need is to get a rice stirrer so they could continue to cook healthy meals. And in order to do that, on your next home visit trip, you might have to go out to the community to a thrift store or whatever it might be to see if you can both locate a stirrer at a price that the family could afford. And then you might want to work with a translator, if a translator is on that home visit, to really talk about things the child can do during that time of cooking rice and things the child can't do, because we always want to keep the health and safety of the family at the forefront. So those are a few principles in one practice. Another principle is the idea of relationships, and that's a huge principle for early Head Start and for family life education. Relationships that put family first, that make families catalysts in their own lives, along with high quality service. And high quality, what does that mean? We're not entirely sure, but home visiting researchers are pretty positive that time spent in a triad in a home visit equals high quality. And the triad, as a gentle reminder, is the parents, the child, and the home visitor kind of working as a unit. And as a home visitor, when you're in the triad, and again, researchers say that high quality home visits include a lot of the time spent in the triad, you might be an observer, so you might be observing what mom and child are doing. You might be narrating what mom and child are doing. You might also be coaching the family, or you might be collaborating with them to set goals or to work on something together. So there's a variety of ways that you could spend your time in this triad. The researchers such as Hughes Belding say that when you're in the triad, you're strengthening the parent and child relationship, you're improving the quality of the parent-child interaction, and then you're also allowing parents to show efficacy in their role as a parent. So those are all pretty important. I did a pilot study recently in Michigan, and what I also found is that home visitors really feel that when they're in the triad, that's when they feel like they're being professionals and being recognized. If we focus too much on the parent-child relationship, they tend to feel left out, and I agree with them that they're a very important part of strengthening the parent-child relationship. Other principles from family life education and early Head Start home visiting are this idea of meaningful family life. You want this visit and the work you do with families to be meaningful for them. Family systems theory is highly valued by family life education. Family systems theory is the idea that the family is an interdependent, coherent unit. And when some members or one member grows, the potential then is that other family members could promote that growth or they could sabotage it. And so to have meaningful family life on that home visit, you want to engage other members of the family that might be in the home at that time. Whether it's siblings or grandparents, you want to include them in that home visit. Making it your own. So going forward, I'd like you to review the information sheet if it's not already in front of you, and the information sheet includes the table that showed the alignment of family life education and early Head Start home visiting. I want you to really think about practices that you use or practices that you would like to use that really align with these principles. When you have a few minutes, take the brief survey so I could get feedback and more ideas from you. And also, please feel free to engage further with this content by sharing practices on the Padlet or asking questions or posting insights. Going forward, we certainly have our work cut out for us. 45% of infants and toddlers, so children under the age of 3, are from low-income families in the United States. That's a large number, and home visiting is a potential solution to poverty, but that's going to take all of us moving forward on this work. Going forward, I want you to think about, today we talked about principles and how they align, but we really need to generate more practices. So we can start thinking about this not only as a philosophical approach, but how to move it to an evidence-based practice. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to working with you.